Hello, my people, my peeps. What is good? Oh, hold on. I would come on camera, but I'm looking jacked up. I'm looking jacked up. No, I'm really not. Let me say hi. Hold on. Hold on. Hello. Yeah, I'm looking jacked up. Oh, forehead shot is I'm gonna get out of the camera. Oh, this is not like uh um what do I usually go live on? I usually go live on StreamYard. Okay, so so this is not like StreamYard. So let me turn on the let me turn on the fireplace, the electric fireplace right quick. So y'all can have a view of that. Cause y'all not gonna have a view of me. So hold on for a minute. Let me get situated. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. StreamYard lets you block out yourself if you don't want to be seen. My goodness, I don't want to be seen all the time. Okay, let's see. Let's turn this around. Maybe y'all can see the fireplace. Maybe that might be. Get some ambiance going on here. What is good, my people, my peeps? Oh, that is too funny. I was not trying to be seen. Forehead shining from the heat of the day. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on in the world today, right? Hold on, let me get y'all. I know y'all rocking. Get y'all steady. Let me see if that's steady enough. Yeah. Woo. Okay. That is that ambiance for you guys. Did that work for you all tonight? I just wanted to pop in here and just have a conversation with you all. I have something going on down at the bottom of my screen. I don't even know how to get that out of there, but anyway, how you doing? How are my people, my peeps, doing this evening in this world that we live in called the Matrix, right? I just wanted to stop in. There's been so much on my mind. So much on my mind. But that's just me. There's always stuff on my mind. I just don't come on and just, spill it out to you guys, right? But I mean, there's probably a lot going on with you as well as targeted individuals, as chosen ones, because the days are just moving so fast. I mean, rapidos, they are just moving. And I see so many things happening around me and encountering the perps and the NPCs around us constantly. And one thing that I have incorporated in this journey, when you can be wherever you are for a split second by yourself, right? And then all of a sudden people just pop up. It's just like, wait a minute, I'm like totally it's somewhere uh, just isolated and people pop up. So you just tell yourself, you are the main character. You have to have your background actors because they pop up, right? So that's something I've actually added into my daily walk on in this matrix, because it amazes me how these people come out of nowhere. But anyway, I wanted to just jump on here tonight because in the description I haven't left it yet, and after I get off this live, I will incorporate this information that I created an email for chosen ones and targeted individuals who uh, want to reach out and have a some kind of support system, right? So I created an email, and that this is for this community. And trust me, I will be vetting, because I know once I drop this information, once I put that out there, I will have perps trying to uh, make their way into this community via this email. But I feel at this time that we are at this place that we're, time and place that we are in America or across the world, across the globe, that um, it we need to be able to connect to people. Um, I just keep reflecting on what took place in Hawaii, um, and it's just so much that is coming out regarding that. Truly, a lot of people that are not targeted, a lot of people who thought that they were just ordinary citizens, are waking up to the fact that their government has been attacking, and that they're under attack, right? They are coming out and understanding that this was a deliberate attack against a whole community of people, children, animals, pets, homes, and it's literally shocking to them. More information is coming out regarding the energy weapon that was used, and that they are seeing that a lot of the homes that were not targeted had blue roofing on top, and objects that were painted blue, or the roofing that was painted a certain color blue. The energy weapon did not affect, right? So it's sad, but it actually is a time of awakening for a lot of people, and it's a harsh, very harsh way to wake up to the fact of the very government that you thought supported you, you're under attack by. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that Hawaii has never been a part of the United States of America. Um, their lease is up. They have been squatting in Hawaii, and they a lot of truths are coming out at this time. What's good, Broken Matrix? Operation Blue Roof by FEMA. Exactly. So a lot of this information is coming out, and I'm like, I have a weird favorite color. I won't even tell y'all what my favorite color is, but I'm opting for blue now. I might be going to buy me some blue objects, right? Blue tarps and all of that. Because these energy weapons seem to be unable to affect the color blue. Hint, hint, targeted individuals. The Dollar Tree does sell blue tarps, just putting that out there. Um, but anyway, I I got I was driving today, and so I said, I'm going to. Exactly. Oh, is it? Your favorite color is blue? Well, I'm telling you, I'm with you, honey. I wasn't a blue girl, but I'm going that route. Hey, shoot. uh, and it's interesting that the ocean water, and when you're in some true blue ocean water, that blue color, uh, it's very interesting that these energy weapons can't affect that color. Um, and I doubt if they will be changing the energy weapon, the color spectrum of the weapon, because I seen another report where, I mean, people in India and all these other places, how the tops of their homes are blue. And somebody in that video that I watched, they were like, did we miss the memo? Because how did all these people know to paint or get towels to towel their top of their roofs blue? But anyway, I just been watching so much of this, and it when I came to the understanding that, um, gosh, it's almost like I've talked about betrayal before, and I never understood or felt betrayal until this program, right? I mean, heartbreak. Heartbreak, I think we all have had some understanding or some form of heartbreak as far as relationships or something along that line. But betrayal, to be betrayed, man, that hits hard. That hits hard. I think that hits harder than, you know, I can't even put it in the same category as heartbreak or, um, because some people would be like, well, if you're married or in a relationship and your spouse cheated on you, that's betrayal. People get over that. They truly do, or they try to, right? It breaks trust. It breaks trust. But betrayal is like, I don't know if you guys remember, and I'm not a big fan of her, so don't get it twisted, but I think it was Miley Cyrus had a video where it was one of those crushing balls that swing and it hits buildings to knock down buildings, and she was riding on it. But I'm just giving this as an example. When betrayal hits you, it's like one of them crushing balls swinging um, out of nowhere, because the person who betrays you, here they go. I've been followed all day, guys, by choppers. It's well, for me, it's the norm now. But anyway, the the I don't even know what that ball is. The demolishing ball that takes down buildings when they're being demolished. But to be betrayed is like that. But you don't know that the building that you're about to be demolished, right? Um, these buildings, there's notices. There's fencing. Don't come but so far, because this building is about to be demolished and possibly blown up if we can't get all of it down by this demolishing ball, right? So betrayal is it's like that. It's it's someone, and it doesn't even have to be a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend. It could be a friend that you thought you was friends to the end. See, I'm old school, so when I was growing up with friends, we did what people would dare not to do nowadays, but we used to say we're blood brothers and sisters. And we would literally, see, I'm Gen X. I'm hardcore. We literally would cut our fingers and mingle our blood and say we're blood brothers and sisters, and mean it. Mean it. Our word was truly bond. Um, So, and then you grow up with these people, and know them off and on through life, your journeys through life. But these people were the ones that, no matter what, they knew deep dark secrets about you, maybe secrets that even your spouse may never have known, right? So it could be those type of people in your life, um, that can be that ball of destruction, demolishing your world, right? And so just imagine that ball being your parent, or I mean, oh my goodness, your parent is devastating. Um, Brothers and sisters that we know as targeted individuals, if you've been in this program for any time period, you know the ones that they can't, um, and this is just my belief, the ones that can't uh, persuade, right? The ones that they can't get on their teams. Um, it seems like they take them out in some way. Even the ones that may have have seemed odd or different for a time spell, but not quite fully given over to the program, because they may have dropped hints, and you know them because, like I said, if you have any loyalty, integrity within you, and the person that you were in a relationship, and mind you, a relationship does not mean sexual from my stance tonight. A relationship means someone you have had in your life, that uh, that person that you can, who you have or could confide in, no matter what it was. Um, the, and I don't even want to say the ride or die, because I hope that that terminology dies. But that person that will go to the end, Bonnie and Clyde, that person that will ride off the cliff with you. Um, for that person to know, but not quite give themselves over, but try to drop hints, and they know you, so they know you'll pick up what they're putting down, right? But they take those people out of your life. They take those people away. It's the people that seem to be the ones that could understand where you were coming from. Like my father died. He passed away 2 years ago. But we could talk on a different level. But when I came to the realization of what was going on in my life, of this targeting, it seemed like he was doing some purpose activity, right? But like right before he passed, he kept calling my phone. And even before then, this was like right before COVID had hit. This is like right at the brink of 2019. I had caught a cold, and I didn't call anyone because I was going through, in my awakening, to this program and to this matrix is totally different. And I don't care what nobody says. I know that there's other entities walking amongst us, right? Um, so when I was going through this, y'all have heard my story before, how I was running from demons, or so I thought. So I didn't call anyone when I caught this cold. This is like right before COVID hit. And I remember there was a knock on my door. And I was laying in the bed. And there was another TI that I was communicating with because this TI had got a cold too. So we had been talking about, oh, and he had told me uh, something to take, you know. We were just talking about common cold. We had never heard of COVID. You understand? I got a knock on my door, and it was my father. I was like, what are you doing here? Not that, he wasn't welcome. It was just odd that he just popped up. And he was like, oh, I brought this for you. And I was like, how did you know that I was sick? Or you know how when you first come down with a cold, or you feel like you're about to be sick, you feel like your throat may be itchy, or something along those lines, or your body may ache, you might have a headache, like common cold symptoms. And I was like, how did you know I was feeling sick? He was like, I just brought, and I remember it was organic lozenges made with honey I have tried to find those lozenges and I can't find them. But I remember when I looked and I read them, it was made with honey and something else. But it wasn't like Halls. It wasn't like the regular, you know, commercial medicines. It was like natural medicines. So he brought me these Halls, and if you know your family, you know what they like, their likes and their dislikes. If you're paying attention to anyone, even if it's not your family, um, if you're paying attention to anyone that you care about, you would tend to know their likes, foods, and what type of medicines that they tolerate. So that was the only type of medicines he brought, the ones that I would even take. He was my father. They tried to give me medicines as a child, and they knew what I would take and what I would not. So I took the medicine, and he was like, okay. And he left. I never thought of it. I never thought anything of that. That only thing that I thought it was odd. How did he know? But like I said, he passed away 2 years ago. And it was always as if he knew something. And he wanted to tell me. But he couldn't. Because the night that he passed, he kept calling. And he kept saying things like, you're not mad, because he was a jokester. And he was he was one of those guys that he was blunt. And the night before it was a family gathering, he was just saying stuff and just out of it, he would just say stuff, just around family, friends, it didn't even matter. So I think he thought that he may have offended me. And so he kept calling and said, you're not mad at me, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not mad at you, because I know how he is. I know how he was. And then he called back. Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure, because I was just joking when I said such and such and this and that. And I was like, Dad, I'm not, I really and truly was not mad. But I felt that it felt odd. It felt as if he was trying to ask for forgiveness, right? That same night, after I had talked to him, he called like twice within the same night. And then I got a third call when I knew something was wrong, because it was from my mother, and she was hysterical. And she said, come over. She didn't have to say a word, I already knew. I already knew he was gone. The weirdest thing is, and this is just my perspective, because I've gone through a hell of tragedies in my life. I'm the youngest, but to you all, I'm the oldest probably amongst this community. But I'm the youngest in my family. But everybody looks to me as the rock, but also the black sheep. And I rode up and it was fire trucks, ambulance. It was the middle of the night. And a calmness came over me. Because I knew once I walked through the door of my mother's home, and my father's home, that I was about to hear the words that I already knew. Police, EMTs, the fire department, all in the house. It's chaos. Many of us in this community would consider that to be street theater. This was not. I've never shared this here on my platform before. And I'm doing this tonight because I'm going to give an email out after this broadcast, and I'm going to put it in the description box below. As I walked into my parents' home and seeing all the chaos and hearing my mother screaming and hollering, and having to calm her down, and it was like a dream. And for people who have animals, so you see, they had poisoned my animal just a year before. And the person who actually had to come over, because I was distraught, I literally cried for 2 weeks, was my father, who had to take me and had to find proper disposal of my pet, right? So animals are attached to certain people, and trust and believe they can pick up on entities and bad people. And so they're attached to certain people in the family. And not to say I don't want you to think if they're attached to you more and they're not attached to your spouse or your children or whatever, that they're bad people. They just tend to attach or love or whatever you want to consider that to be, to certain people in the family. But trust and believe they can pick up on, I mean, entities. They see into the third dimension or fifth dimension or whatever dimension you want to call it. So after I get my mom to sit down, the fire department, the police are like, ma'am, can you come into the bathroom? Because that's where he passed. Because the animals, he had dogs like me when we were pet people. They won't let us come into the bathroom. And my mom was too distraught to go into the bathroom and remove the pets away from my father because they were guarding him. And they wouldn't let the police, no one, go into the bathroom. And for me, understanding what I had gone through as far as my awakening and understanding what I have gone through since childhood is I know that our bodies have several portals on them, and our eyes are portals, right? And they say your eyes are the windows to your soul. So I have to let me digress for a minute and tell you this story before I continue about my father. I've always been a military brat, around military life, and so I was married when Kuwait popped off. They sent soldiers over to Kuwait, and I heard horror stories. And I heard horror stories not about the people in Kuwait, how they were treating the soldiers. I heard horror stories about how American soldiers were treating Kuwait people. There's one story that stuck with me, and this story relates to your eyes being portals, and how the government knows that, and how that they use that as a form of torture. You might wonder, a form of torture? Well, let me get to the point. During Kuwait, when they wanted intel, and trust and believe it wasn't about weapons of mass destruction. Well, depending on how you look at it, but it wasn't how we thought they said it was. Bombs and all those weapons of mass destruction. There was DNA weapons of mass destruction, but that's for another day. So they would take families trying to get intel, information, and they would take mothers and their children, and they would rape the children in front of the mothers, right? Or in front of the children, or in front of the other family members, and force the siblings to watch the rape. force the mother or the father to watch the rape. Now you might not think that that is traumatizing. It depends on your mindset. You see, to watch someone defile your sibling, your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, because they were raping men too, and forcing the opposite to watch this degradation take place, where you see they were traumatizing the other person to where they would talk to stop the rape or stop the degradation happening to their family member. And they tended to want to degrade not the women as much, but the men. So, this traumatizes the mother, the sister, the cousin, whomever they have been able to capture. Once something is seen, it can never be unseen. Never. This is where trauma lies. Do you understand? Once something is seen, this is a portal into the soul. It can never be unseen. So, whether the mother, the sister, the brother, the husband goes on in life, it can affect them. That's where nightmares start to happen, because they see it in their dreams. So they might try to cope with that with substances. And then the substance may not be able to extinguish what they witnessed and lead them further down a rabbit hole, you see, into opening doorways. But I won't go that far with you guys. So the window of the soul is the eye portals. Once you see something, you can't, erase it. So this is where demonic spirits can play out and antagonize and torture a human, a soul, a vessel. Okay? So I wanted you guys to hear that, to understand. Let's go back to, I'm at my mother's house. My dad has passed away. The dogs are guarding him. He's passed away in the bathroom. And the police in there are saying, can you get the dogs, because they won't let us come near him. And I knew. I walked to the bathroom door. And I stopped at the bathroom door. But I did not enter, you see, into the bathroom. Because I knew I would not allow myself to replay my father, however he lied in that bathroom, into my memory. What I was going to remember was how he lived. You see, I can see everything from that night as clear as day. I can remember every movement, everything, from the phone calls to me getting up, no hesitation, trucks and the police cars and EMTs and entering to the house. I see it now as I talk to you all. But knowing, and I would have to say, knowing that the eyes are the windows of the soul was a blessing for me not to enter that bathroom. I would have to say the Most High God, excuse me, I'm not coughing to be funny, I have to clear my throat. Was with me to simply sit on the side of the bed and call the dogs to me without entering the bathroom. And they came. It's not like these dogs are like jumping all over me or like I'm their favorite too. You know, dogs, like I express myself, they have their favorites. It might be both people in the home. It just depends. But I'm just telling you this. That night, I just called them one time, and they came straight away to me. And I picked them up, and I carried them out. I never saw how my father laid in that bathroom, because I knew that image would haunt me, would stay and replay, because just like I can see everything now as I speak to you all tonight, I didn't want to see that image. The only image of my father that I can remember when he passed, you see, he was military, is, and this is what, this is the, this is what pisses me off about having a battle, if you will, of how the military has this honor, but then again, they have this deceit because how they do targeted individuals. So, the honor of my father's passing, after I had called my aunt, my brother to come down from out of town, about an hour or so away, the EMTs finally go into the bathroom and retrieve his body. This is what pisses me off. But then I have mixed feelings, because when they bring his body out on the gurney, I see him like I wanted to see him, as if he was asleep, And they have draped an American flag. They have draped an American flag across him, showing so much honor and respect for him. As my brother and my mother lay on him as they get ready to take him away. I just can remember seeing us all around him. And I don't know if this is why they think I'm so hard or so strong. I just can remember seeing everyone weeping, and me too, but my tears are silent. I believe sometimes this, I don't know if it's true or not, because I don't think it was his time. I think for us that are in this program, there are people that are taken away or that we have lost too early. And I feel that some of these people may have known, may have been approached, may have thought that they might go along with what we know as pure torture for the targeted individual, but couldn't, right? And somehow they were taken out. That's my thoughts. So I tell you this story. And I tell you, and I talk about Lahaina, I know I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, Hawaii. How 2,000 children are gone. How there are parents, I'm sorry guys. There are parents who have lost everything. There are children who have lost parents, right? And people are awakening to the fact that this system is not what you may have thought it was. And trust me, I'll be the first to tell you, I was there. I was there. Even with the passing of my father, it was hard for me not to feel proud when they draped that American flag over him and wheeled him out. I still had a piece of pride in me because I knew what type of man he was, or the man that I knew he showed me to be, right? So I understand how it is for people to have been lost in this system, thinking that you have a team, you have support, and to wake up and know that you have been betrayed. And it's like that cannonball, that demolishing ball coming through, coming out of nowhere. You didn't get a notice to say that your life was about to be demolished. No, you weren't forewarned. It came out of nowhere. But you still may have some sense of, but this was so great, or look at our fighter jets, or somebody's going to come save us, right? And so now you've been rudely awakened, like the majority of targeted individuals. We have different levels of our awakening, but trust me, that does not demolish or take away from the fact that you were shaken awake out of a slumber. And it just, as I was driving today, I said to myself, it's getting ready to get worse, and it's not going to get better. And so I wanted to establish an email and a Discord. I might download Discord, or what is it? There's another, what is it called? Telegram, to have discussions off of YouTube. Because there are people who have lost everything, that don't have any connection to people. And that is one thing that we are not meant to be out here. Some of us can do it better than others. Let me say that. Be isolated or cope, or and trust me, I think I can do it fairly well, because I've been kind of like that since youth. But I also can interact with people. But some people, they don't have, they can't go in and out of those two situations, if you will. I've done broadcasts where I have stated that the American dollar is failing, and it's happening faster than people think. And I know some of you guys have heard that the BRICS have gotten more and more support with different countries, and how and this is affecting the trading market right now in January, where it's $55 to $1, right? $1 of American dollars. So $1 equals $55 in BRICS, because they're backed with gold. And you might say, well, okay, that's not, nothing's going to happen to us right now. Well, America has fell for the okie doke because everything that they have done, they shipped all their production offshore to China and Hong Kong. I mean, go get a t-shirt or something right now. It probably says made in Hong Kong, made in China. So the trading market, once that collapses, because it's going to be so expensive, because the American dollar is back with nothing but monopoly money, like I've stated to you guys before. Then you'll start to see the trickle down effects. Then you'll start to see the money, like in World War One, Germany, barrels of money being burnt and dumped in the streets. Like I did, like I believe I did a broadcast last year with, oh my goodness, it was a Spanish country where they were dumping their money in the street because it was worthless. That is American dollars. That's what's coming. And that's what's pushing me. It's giving me the urge to put out an email right now, create a Discord or a Telegram right now. And it might be, I might be too late even doing this right now, because from what I'm hearing is around September the 1st or the September, sometime in September, that's when this EMP or this solar flare is supposed to hit. And no one will have, if that happens, you know, we already have discussed about the darkness that will come, us going into a Stone Age era where there's no communication. But nevertheless, I still thought that I would create an email or and create a Discord so that people who don't have anyone, who are our targeted individuals, who are chosen ones, and trust and believe, I'm going to vet these people. And because I know that there's going to be perps that will try to infiltrate, right? But nevertheless, I must connect or offer help if I can. And that's why I am doing this broadcast tonight. And you know, sometimes, like I just was saying earlier about people you may know that they've taken out, or they seem to act kind of perpish, have a like a kind of like, I don't know, did they get to you? Are you a perp? You doing some things, and we have to check ourselves as targeted individuals too. Okay, because this has been a psychological game for them, not for us. This has been just the torture, hell. Because especially when at the first cycle of this, right? When you don't know. What's going on until you come to the awareness, and then you start to see how they manipulate your life. But there are things that correspond so well with the scriptures, and trust me, I'm having some tussles with some things in the Bible, because they are inconsistent. Okay, And I have to understand and be aware that this is not the full scripts, so it's altered to fit a narrative, okay? But the words that have been taken from the Sanscripts do line up to what is going on and in society. That, and I can't quote the scripture verse verse in chapter on chapter, but this is for me remembering that your enemies, God, Yah, I don't say God because that's just a title, but Yah will make even your enemies help you, right? And I have to testify, if you will, that I've seen that happen recently a couple of times. Knowing or feeling like, are they purpose? Are these people perps? And I say we have to check ourselves, and you have to use your discernment. Trust and believe. That has to be first and foremost. But the thing is, I also want targeted individuals, and I chosen one. Yes, listen in, but targeted individuals are a little different because by this being such a game of psychological manipulation, we can always want to say this person is a perp, that person is a perp, this person is a perp, right? And this is just my thoughts. I believe that is an effect of that psychological manipulation, being in a program for so long. And hell, I'm going on 8 years. Some people are longer than I. 3 years is too much. A year is too much. Okay, I mean, just what, I don't even know how long this person. We've all heard of Stockholm syndrome, right? I think that person, it was a female who was a captive by some robbers. If I'm getting the story right, if I'm not, well, you can go research it. But and so I believe it wasn't even a year, some months that she was capped in this captivity with her captors. And so her mindset, right, her mindset started to change. Now she's captive. She didn't do nothing wrong. I think they went to rob something. I can't remember the full story. But she got captured during this robbery. And her mindset started to change. And so she started to agree and have compassion for her captors. And so they call this the Stockholm syndrome. Because your mind starts to change. It's a psychological manipulation of the mind. You know, your captors cool. They feeding you. It don't seem too bad over here, you know. And so this woman started saying, "No, they're okay. They're fine." And people are, no, you're in lockdown. You can't leave when you want to leave. You're followed. You're watched. No, it's good. I'm good. You know. Stockholm syndrome. So, as targeted individuals, we have to be careful that we don't have some form of Stockholm syndrome. And not that we agree with our captors, but we don't come and we don't submit our thought processes to the manipulation that they want us to think that everyone's a part of their team. You see, everything is for them. They have all of the winning moves and the winning plan. So then we look at everyone as if they are perps, and ta-da, they win, because they have manipulated our mind, and we don't know if we're coming or going. So we have to be very careful as targeted individuals, and trust and believe there is a such thing as targeted individuals, even if that is a slang term for the program that they have incorporated certain people into, or placed certain people into, certain people who are divergent, if you will, if you allow me to use that terminology from a movie. The people who aren't easily swayed, that use their own mind to contemplate a situation, think about, is this right or wrong? Does this truly make sense? The ones who maybe always kind of ruffle feathers because they just don't go along to get along. Now I believe those are the ones who are targeted. But anyway, the email that I want to give is, it's going to be part of my name, the channel name, ethereal9ether @gmail.com. And I'll also write it in after this broadcast for anyone who may want to reach out or connect, and then I will get the Discord or the Telegram set up and do a separate broadcast once I get that information together. And this is people who may need to leave. You know, they're doing things. They've expedited their plans. Florida. Alabama. There's a hurricane coming in. They're using these directed energy weapons from what I've seen, and I'll try to drop a video on this as well. But there are people in Florida who are worried because they've seen some of the same activities that took place in Maui regarding these directed energy weapons, and how they aided, or they used the hurricane to aid in their destruction of Maui. They're seeing that in this Hurricane Ida that's predicted to hit Florida, and it's at a Category 2 at this particular time. I have not did a update, but a Category 2 is up there. But there might be some fires just like we've seen in Maui, from what people are, who their eyes are open now. And so they're keeping watch, and they're seeing the same patterns. But where do people go? And where do target individuals go? Who don't have family, who may have succumbed, to the program as far as Stockholm syndrome, and it's truly hard for them to trust. Even with I, they may not trust. Oh, you got to start somewhere. We do. So the email is ethereal9ether@gmail.com. That's where I'm going to start. And trust me, that's not where I'm going to finish. All right, guys. I'm out. And I hope you guys have a great evening and much, much love.